veterans. We are the veterans. Anti-war veterans. Anti-war veterans. Iraq veterans. Iraq veterans. Afghanistan veterans. Afghanistan veterans. The pissed off veterans. Pissed off veterans. Stop Loss killed this man. End Stop Loss now. And we are here to demand of a presidential candidate that he recognize our demands. We understand that John McCain is not going to move on the issue of ending the war, but he claims to be a champion of veterans. Operation Enduring Freedom, Operation Iraqi Freedom Veterans Issues. This is a draft letter written and addressed to John McCain. He has already received multiple copies through email, fax, and hard copy lettering and hand-delivered. What we are asking for is recognition of receipt of this letter from his campaign. Here's the points that we are trying to bring across as Iraq Veterans Against the War, united, not just to end the war, but specifically to ensure that proper care is taken of all veterans upon returning home. All branches of the military must immediately cease discharging Operation Enduring Freedom, Operation Iraqi Freedom veterans under anything less than an honorable discharge where it is reasonable to believe that A, the veteran has post-traumatic stress disorder or PTSD, traumatic brain injury, TBI, or major depression that was not present prior to deployment in support of OEF, OIF, or was not listed previous to deployment in that veteran's health care records, but was present post-deployment, and B, a veteran's PTSD, TBI, or major depression relating to an OEF, OIF deployment was a reasonably significant contributing factor to his or her behavior, which was in violation of the UCMJ, Uniform Code of Military Justice. Prior to discharge from the active duty and as part of the out-processing of military service, service members will be registered and admitted to the Department of Veterans Affairs system. It will be issued a VA identification card. An inspection system must be set up which would use OEF, OIF veterans, now civilians, as inspectors of all DoD and VA medical facilities. These inspectors would be provided a channel in which they could notify Congress of inadequate facilities or care to veterans. An OEF, OIF veteran who has PTSD, TBI, or major depression, which it is reasonable to believe that was the result of a deployment in support of OEF or OIF, must be granted immediate, meaning 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, in-person access or admittance to DoD if still on active duty, or VA if discharged from active duty, medical or mental health facility, even if that veteran believes such immediate in-person access or admittance is necessary. A veteran who feels suicidal should not be denied immediate in-person access or admittance to a mental health facility and be asked to come back at a later date. The DoD and VA must provide personal one-on-one mental health counseling between a mental health professional and the OEF, OIF veteran if the veteran requests such personal counseling, with participation in group mental health counseling, which means more than one veteran, only if the veteran agrees to participate in that group counseling. The DoD must take immediate steps to ensure that a service member is not stigmatized by that service member's respective branch of service if that service member seeks mental health counseling, whether or not it's related to an OIF, OEF deployment. More specifically, that service member's leadership chain of command must not in any way obstruct the service member from seeking mental health counseling, and that leadership must take immediate corrective action to prevent a service member's peers from stigmatizing or ostracizing that service member. Order! Arms! The reason why I am out here today with my brothers and sisters in arms, my brothers and sisters in Iraq Veterans Against the War, is because everything listed in this is extremely personal to me. The first reference included in this booklet is my Winter Soldier testimony, which explains how after my attempted suicide, I was removed from the military with a general discharge that came at the cost of my educational benefits.
I'm not alone. This has happened to some people behind me. The rate of suicide has been steadily increasing as this war has gone on among military members. The rate of attempted suicide is skyrocketing. Commanders have reacted by punishing soldiers in order to try to make them fearful of attempting suicide and not actually going through with it. What my unit punished me for was not putting a gun in my mouth and making my mother bury me in a closed casket. I looked for help on Fort Stewart for months and went without counseling. I asked my chain of command, Alpha Company, 1st of the 30th Infantry Division, for assistance. After finding out that I was stop-lost, the PTSD that I already had became intensified. I was diagnosed with chronic severe depression and anxiety disorders before my scheduled second deployment. That was not enough to push back my second deployment to ensure that my mental well-being was acceptable. Memorial Day of 2007, I went out onto a field where they plant a tree for every soldier who dies in the 3rd Infantry Division. I wrote on my arms, "Stop loss killed this man, end stop loss now." To show that I wasn't afraid to die, I was dying for a reason. I wasn't about to go overseas to fight for a cause that I no longer believed in. I'd rather die at home and raise the awareness to the issues that face veterans. I was locked in a mental ward for a week. There they diagnosed me with adjustment disorder with disturbance of emotions and conduct, which is basically the same exact thing as PTSD, yet the military and the VA system are using that diagnosis to keep veterans from collecting benefits on the way out. After that, I came to an agreement with my chain of command, Alpha Company, 1st of the 30th Infantry Division, Infantry Regiment, that I would be released from active duty within 2 weeks. Those 2 weeks went by, and I didn't see any paperwork for my removal from the military, which was supposed to be, or agreed upon, that it would be fully honorable. I knew that my unit had just deployed, that my friends were dying, my friends were being shot, and that my unit had other things planned, other things that they needed to work on before they moved on to me. A few more weeks went by, and I was called into my commander's office. It was decided by my deployed company commander, who I was no longer under the command of, that an Article 15 non-judicial punishment would be initiated against me. The charge would be malingering. Despite my mental diagnoses, despite my dozens of times in therapy, I was still being prosecuted as a malingerer. I was not diagnosed as a malingerer by a doctor. I was told I was a malingerer by a captain with no medical training whatsoever. My responsibility after receiving an Article 15 was to talk to the legal defense team on Fort Stewart. Their response was that they could not help me because it would damage their military careers if they stood up against stop loss and if they defended a veteran who attempted suicide, because they felt that it would make it okay to let people go after they attempt suicide from the military. After initiating an investigation with my congressional representative weeks later, the Article 15 was thrown out and I was quickly removed from the military under a general discharge. I could not protest the general discharge because I did not have 6 years in the service. I was left with no instructions on how to collect VA benefits, how to continue mental health counseling. I was just cut loose and left alone. If I didn't find Iraq Veterans Against the War, I don't know if I'd be alive today. Coming from a man who has attempted suicide, I hope you take that statement seriously. There are other veterans standing behind me who I know have attempted suicide. The VA system is failing. The military medical system is failing. More must be done to ensure that no veteran is stigmatized, punished, or removed from the military for showing signs of post-traumatic stress disorder or traumatic brain injury. Since leaving the military, I have been diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder and am now a 50% rated disabled veteran. I still have no educational benefits. The Army, the government have done nothing thus far to change these laws. And we are here to demand of a presidential candidate that he recognize our demands. We understand that John McCain is not going to move on the issue of ending the war, but he claims to be a champion of veterans. Iraq and Afghanistan Veterans, an organization which is not affiliated with any political stance, have rated John McCain a D on an A through F scale. They have rated Senator Obama a B+. Disabled American veterans state that John McCain votes in favor of veterans' issues only 20% of the time, while Obama votes in favor of veterans' issues 80% of the time. If John McCain should become president, that is not acceptable. Republicans cannot stand by and let their presidential candidate continue to neglect veterans' issues. We stand here to demand a change. We demand support for veterans. It is too easy to say you support them, but it must start being done in real ways. New laws need to be passed. Real support comes through Congress. Real support comes through the Commander-in-Chief. The VA system and the military system must not be allowed to fail veterans or active duty, National Guard, or Reserve. The United States has a commitment to protect these military members and veterans. So we tell them. So we tell them. We are the Afghanistan veterans. Afghanistan veterans. Anti-war veterans. Anti-war veterans. We are the soldiers. We are the soldiers. Anti-war soldiers. Anti-war soldiers. We are the Marines. Anti-war Marines. Anti-war Marines. Left, go left. Left, go left. Go left. Left. Left.
Mike,
Left.
do the flanking action.
Left. Right. Right.
Thank you.
Left. Standing in my foxhole. Standing in my foxhole. Boots to cake the mud. Boots to cake the mud. Rover at my money. Rover at my money. His face is cake the blood. His face is cake the blood. Stop loss. Stop loss. Victim. Victim. My body's lying next to me. My body's lying next to me. Shrapnel through his head. Shrapnel through his head. He was supposed to get out. He was supposed to get out. Stop loss instead. Stop loss instead. Stop loss. Stop loss. Victim. Victim. See the flag waving. I see the flag waving. It's waving overhead. It's waving overhead. It's waving for the wounded. It's waving for the wounded. It's waving for the dead. It's waving for the dead. Oh, oh, oh. All right, so everyone knows, First Sergeant Wes Davey has not been detained. He is being escorted in to discuss to the McCain camp our letter. As an establishment of IVAW's credibility and contact with the Republicans, the same that we have already made with the Democrats. This is a unilateral movement to take care of veterans. It is not a political issue. It is not a political stance. We are putting pressure on both parties, who are both responsible, to provide proper health care and legal assistance to all members of the military and all veterans. Right, peace, forward, march, left, go left, left, go left, go left, 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 go left, left, go left, go left. It's alright, it's alright.
It's alright, it's alright.
It's alright, it's okay.
It's alright, it's okay.
Hey, hey,
Hey, hey,
hey, yeah, yeah, yeah.
hey, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Remember JFK
Remember JFK
tried to lead the way.
tried to lead the way.
He was shot one day,
He was shot one day,
early in the morning.
early in the morning.
Hey, hey,
Hey, hey,
yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's alright, it's alright.
It's alright, it's alright.
It's alright, it's okay.
It's alright, it's okay.
Remember MLK.
Remember MLK.
Don't lead the way.
Lead the way.
Hey,
Let the line go ahead. Let the line.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Hey, Captain Jack. Meet me down by the railroad tracks. With that banner in my hand. I'm gonna be a marching man. To heck with Uncle Sam. Hey, Captain Jack. Meet me down by the railroad tracks. With that banner in my hand. I'm gonna be a peaceful man. Mark time, march!
Company, halt. Right, face. Present, halt. Harder, halt. About face. This is a salute to all of our supporters, especially veterans for peace and Vietnam veterans against the war, who ensured a peaceful march today for us. Present, hold! Veterans for peace. Hold on! Hold! Hooray! Press!
Guys are awesome.
IVAW! Find a buddy! Alright? Don't let everybody leave here without a buddy. Roger? We lost people. We got confused for a long time last time. Nobody leaves without a buddy.
But I'm not sure which pocket, first or second.
The benefits of healthcare that we deserve when we come home. So we're looking at a former veteran himself, a veteran of a war, now abandoning a next generation of veterans. And he has the power to make changes, of legislative changes in office that are going to help us on the ground. He's failing to do so. We continue to see these politicians use veterans issues as a chess piece in this campaign, and we want to depoliticize veteran issues. We feel that it's both parties' responsibility to take care of our returning war veterans. And, we'd really like to see a bigger effort, a bigger push in this campaign of John McCain's to put veteran issues on the table. And we see a veteran crisis right now in America. We've got an increase of veteran suicides, homelessness, substance abuse problems, all related to their experiences in the Iraq struggle and Afghanistan struggle. And they're coming home, they're not being taken care of responsibly.
We have a short update. Our first sergeant was escorted inside of the perimeter of the RNC to hopefully meet with members of John McCain's campaign. They refused, I repeat, they refused to send somebody out and accept our letter from us. This is a demonstration once again of the fact that while John McCain is a vet, is a POW, he is MIA when it comes to standing up for veterans issues and veterans rights. Iraq Veterans Against the War will continue leveraging all means necessary to put pressure on the McCain campaign to ensure that our brothers and sisters in the military and in uniform will be taken care of and will have their rights respected if John McCain is elected president in November. Thank you very much. Yeah, I will say that one more time. The Obama campaign agreed to meet with us and address veterans issues. The McCain campaign did not.
John McCain, MIA! John McCain, MIA! John McCain, MIA!
Can you tell us what was the net result of your meeting? What happened in there?
The net result was Senator McCain refused to send somebody out. I mean, it's not him, but actually his staff refused to send someone out to listen to the issues that concern veterans right now. So, I mean, they refused to send somebody out. It's as simple as that. The St. Paul police officers here, they totally respect what we are trying to do here as far as the veterans issues. And so they were totally supportive of us, and they did not want to arrest me. I'm also a retired police officer, so that's another reason why they didn't want to arrest a fellow officer. So, the result is we didn't get through. We tried. But there's other avenues that we can get our message through, and our executive director here, Kelly Doherty, she's one of the prime ones to help get our message out. So I'm just here in Minnesota trying to do what we can with the support of all these IVAW members here. We're just happy they're here, but the end result is nobody from the McCain staff listened to us, but our message will get out. It will get out. I mean,
so what's the way forward? Where do you go from here?
Kelly?
Well, my name's Kelly Doherty. I'm the Executive Director of Iraq Veterans Against the War, and our message did get out today, even though the McCain campaign refused to receive our letter and our list of recommendations on how to take care of veterans and treat them better. Our message is getting out to the public. It's getting out to other veterans that Iraq Veterans Against the War has your back, has the back of our brothers and sisters in the military and our returning veterans. And political campaigns, political candidates, they don't have the backs of the soldiers and the veterans. And it's really out to us to look out for each other and to advocate for one another. And we intend to continue to demand response, demand that these issues are taken, that action is taken on these issues. There are debates coming up Iraq Veterans Against the War plans on having a presence at those debates to make sure that issues of the ongoing occupation of Iraq and the serious crisis in veterans' health care are addressed by both of the candidates. When veterans return home from places like Iraq, from combat zones, it's really contingent upon them getting help, that the help is made readily available and easily accessible. And right now, the VA system is very hard to navigate. There's a huge stigma against seeking mental health treatment, not just in our society, but particularly within the military. And service members have been ostracized from their units or punished by their chain of command for seeking help for depression, for post-traumatic stress disorder. And this just further increases the chance of aggravating the problem and potentially leading to suicide or other destructive behavior.
So McCain is running on his record as a veteran and as a prisoner of war, and the Republicans present themselves as the party of the military, the party of servicemen. So what's your response to that?
Well, my response is that actions speak louder than words, and with Iraq Veterans Against the War, we try to show through our actions our message that we're here advocating to bring the troops home. We're here advocating for veterans' benefits and reparations for the Iraqi people. Yet, when you look at a candidate like McCain, his actions speak volumes over his words. So as much as he says he supports the troops, he still primarily consistently votes against issues that will help veterans, that will provide for their an increase in care and increase in benefits to go back to school. And so his actions are saying, look, I just want to use and manipulate the veterans to support my political campaign, but yet when it comes to taking care of them, I'm not ready to do that.